Okay, good morning. My name is Sam, and I'm sitting here in my backyard with the 3 custom boats I designed and built around me. To my left is a 43-foot Liveaboard trawler. In the shed here is my latest design, a 28-foot fully operational diesel submarine. And in the shed behind us in the yard is a 30-foot Mahogany custom gentleman's Runabout. And these are 3 boats that I designed and built from scratch. They're one designs. My background, first and foremost, I'm a cabinet maker by trade with a lot of old school mechanical drawing experience. I served a apprenticeship in cabinet making, a state-sponsored apprenticeship. And since I was 17, I'm 72 now, but since I was 17, I always had wooden boats, Chris Crafts. I restored many Chris Crafts. And I've had big Chris Crafts, which I'd had to sell to get in business. But when I went back in business, I wanted to get back in boating when I could afford to. And that's when I designed the 30-foot gentleman's Runabout. I'm on the Jersey Shore here. I run in Barnegat Bay, and we used to go to Cape May every summer and that, and Raritan Bay. And after that, I designed and built this 43-foot Liveaboard trawler, twin diesel trawler, which we've gone to Florida and back. But I've always, besides all this, I've always been intrigued since I was a little kid. I followed the submarine race. I've always been a submarine enthusiast. I always want to have my own submarine. I always want to command my own submarine. So upon retirement, this was my big bucket list project. I designed and built, as you'll see, this 28-foot, I think very sophisticated diesel electric submarine. It has a working periscope. It has a snorkel. It's a parallel hybrid. It has an 85 horsepower VOC compliant diesel engine with like 50 hours on it. It has 3 fairly new 120 amp electric gel batteries for underwater operation. It has a compressor. It has redundant compressed air systems. What it doesn't have is enough clear, deep water for me to really enjoy it. But I'm getting a little old for that now, and I just like to pass it on to somebody that appreciates the boat and has some blue clear water that would really appreciate it. Well, I thought the perfect area. A few years ago, we took our trawler down to the Isle of Murad and Marathon, and I thought that really, the water was so clear. It was just the right depth. I thought that would be the perfect area, and since then, at the end of last season, I've listed it with a broker in Key West, Florida, for that reason, because I thought I would target that area. I've had it advertised in a nationwide Boats and Harbor magazine, which I've had so many calls for it, but shipping was kind of a issue and problem. But I really think Florida, the Cayman Islands, areas like that, although I had people on the Great Lakes express interest. I had somebody in Florida that was a gold diver express interest, but shipping was an issue. Well, first and foremost, the submarine is not a toy. It's a real submarine. The submerged displacement is 44,000 pounds. The dry weight for shipping is about 35 or 36,000 pounds. So the weight is an issue, and the vertical clearance of the road is an issue, which I've checked that out and it passes the vertical clearance. But still, it's a serious piece of equipment to ship a boat like this, and distance matters. I have a shipping cradle. It was the cradle that I built it in. The hull is perfectly round, So this cradle, I actually took the wheels off the trailer and put it on the cradle, and I built it in the cradle, and I was able to rotate it as I worked on the hull. The hull is composite construction. It's strip planked out of 1-inch thick white oak and seriously encapsulated with biaxial cloth and the West System resin, over 100 gallons of resin. The frames, would you want to hand me that piece of wood right there? So this is, no, that little one, that's a section of the frame. So this is a cut off of the frame. It's been laying around just as how well. It's a triple sawn oak frame, encapsulated in fiberglass resin. The hull is very robust, way stronger, way more robust than either one of these other boats I ever built. It was a challenge building it. It was a challenge getting it out of my garage down here. It was launched in this yard. I had a crane come down the yard and launch it. And it took me, from the time I launched it, it took me maybe a whole nother year or two ballast it so it would submerged. And then the only problems, I mean, it works. I test systems all the time. I have to wait for a new moon or a full moon to get past the end of the creek. I have a few spots where it's deep enough to submerge and test all systems. It was built to go 150 foot deep. I see no reason why it's not strong enough. I haven't been that deep, but I have been out numerous times running it, submerging, testing all systems. First of all, it is titled. To have a title and it's registered, so I don't have that problem. But it's really hard to go out with other boats because they keep approaching, asking questions. They never seen anything like this, and so I've kept it hush hush, and I usually only go out at night when I don't have to encounter other vessels, and I could think clearly and be free out there, you know.
Okay, but people obviously get excited.
Oh yeah. They come right up, and I can't even hear the questions they're asking me, but it's an eye catcher. Too much of an eye catcher to be out actually in the middle of the summer. As you see in the video, the run on the surface, I'm above the con, so it was a thrill to see the shape I created going through the water. Yes, that was very fulfilling, and it was rewarding because I had really no issues on the maiden voyage. Everything worked like it was supposed to on a maiden voyage. I made little corrections and things like that, but basically everything worked. I returned to port without incident. So as with any of these boats I made, they're very gratifying to get in and use, knowing also that there's not another boat around like them. Well, I'll be 72 this summer. I don't know that I have any. Probably this sub was the biggest bucket list project I had on my agenda, but I still work. I still keep my hand in. I'm not in business anymore, but I may tool around, make a little cabinet here and there, and a piece of furniture, only for people in the family. I still have all my tools and equipment in the cellar that I had when I was in business. But as I say, I'm at 72 years old. Both my shoulders are shot, my knees shot. I don't think I'm going for any more major projects like this. So honestly, I would say if you're not a experienced diver or an experienced submariner, or at least a really, really smart kind of person, this boat may not be for you, because there's a lot you have to know to operate it safely. But it is a safe boat. I've been out in it numerous times, always return to port. The motor starts, runs. As far as the sub goes, the main thing to remember is the motor. This 85 horsepower diesel engine is always underwater. It's below the waterline. So it is a specific startup sequence and a specific shutdown sequence to make sure no water backs up into the engine. And the sequence works. I've used it dozens and dozens of times, and I would say that's the main thing to remember with the sub. Well, that's called a gentleman's runabout. That's a boat that would have been like a state-of-the-art runabout or racing boat back in 1929 and back in that era.
Okay.
That has a fuel-injected 454 engine in it, and that boat sounds good. That also is an eye catcher. They're all eye catchers. I always spent summers down on Barnegat Bay here with my grandparents. I always had a little boat, you know, when everybody was up there skimboarding and surfing, I was out in the bay in my boat, and you know, then when I started my apprenticeship right out of high school, I started my apprenticeship and became a serious woodworker. I served a 4-year apprenticeship and quit, and immediately went in business for myself, and worked hard ever since. Having a business and a full-fledged workshop makes it, of course, easy to attain your dream with something like this. But I would say one of my main gratifications is when I get in any one of these boats, it's the vision is complete. Like, okay, I'm in this boat now, but I remember seeing it before I cut the first piece of wood. So it's kind of, you know, goes far back to that. So it's important to reach your goal when you could see it in your mind, is what I'm saying. Even before I built these boats, all the Chris Crafts that I restored, I raised my kids on. I have 3 kids. They were all on my boat since they were infants. And the gratification of knowing they were out on a safe, well-built or well-maintained or well-restored boat was a gratified feeling. Now, our kids are all out. Me and my wife are alone. Now we just have the trawler that we go on. You know, we went to Florida for the first time. It was an extreme trip. We lived on that boat almost 5 months. And I went from stem to stern before I went. And we went to Isla Mirada and back with no issue. And that in itself is rewarding. Well, I could live on that boat for the rest of my life. It was great. It was, anybody that's in boating or has a big boat knows that even if they're weekend warriors, you get on that boat, you're in another world. You're really living a life. So to do it for 5 months straight was really good. Thought long and hard before I built any of these boats. I spared no expense in building them. They're as professionally made as any boat you could get. And now that I'm getting older and I'm trying to sell them, I just want to see it passed on to somebody that would appreciate it. You could go 12 volts, which I call all ahead 1/3. I could go to 24 volts, which I call all ahead 2/3. And you could go to 36 volts, which ties all batteries together, which we call flank speed. And this is the forward and reverse part of it. Now watch, I don't have the, so if I go like this, you hear the motor turning.
Yes.
Okay? So look back like here, this is really the biggest feature of this boat.
Okay.
So what this is called a parallel hybrid.
Okay.
I've tried to make it so this whole, and it can be, one person can control this whole sub from their helm. This right here is the locking mechanism. So before you dive and go into dive preparation mode, you shut off and you secure the diesel engine. And then we pull this like this. This locks the pulleys in the back, which you can get all the way back there and take a picture of that. Now, the propeller shaft is attached to the electric motor. I leave the diesel engine in neutral, and now I'm on electric drive. And this is a simple mechanical mechanism that I made. Okay, so look, you see this locking into place?
Yep.
And then
That's so crazy.
Propeller shaft is turning.
Yes.
So now we're in forward.
It's going. Yeah.
And I could go back to reverse. Watch. Going the other way, right?
Yep, and that's all electric.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Now, if you look at that mechanism, now if I surface and want to go to diesel power, I will disengage. Look, I'm disengaging those pulleys.
Right.
And now, if you put the camera on the steering,
Which would be. Okay.
now, the important thing about that steering is because I'm a fanatic about balance and everything, the axis of the propeller shaft, the horizontal rudders and the vertical rudders all meet at the same point for efficiency. That's why they're U-shaped like that.
Okay.
So they bypass each other. Right? You see that happening?
I do.
So I wanted a asymmetrical design. That was a lot of work.
Yeah.
That was a lot of engineering.
A lot of tubing. The water.
Well, the water's going out. What
Okay.
you don't want is it filling up and going back into the engine.
Correct.
So as soon as I turn the diesel engine off, and the intake water's already been shut off, I open up that little valve, and that allows all the water to drain out of the exhaust system.
Into this.
Now, from that backflow muffler, this is important. If you look in there, there's a vertical
1 second.
exhaust muffler. This makes the exhaust in the water go vertical, that black thing right there.
Okay.
And these are the things. Now, that goes out here, and up on the deck under that little seal
Uh huh.
is a double backflow check valve that I designed and created
Okay.
to eliminate any water from rushing in before you get a chance to close this.
Right.
Everything is redundant. There's two of everything. There's two valves on every, what I just did. This just closed this valve, and this valve I already closed. And this is the second exhaust valve.
Okay.
Okay? These white valves are the vent valves to let
Okay.
the air out of these vents. You have to let air out of the tanks to fill with water.
Okay.
All right, to surface, you got to make sure those vents are closed, the bottom vents are open, and let air in. And again, that little noise, that they're all backflow valves.
Okay.
In the event that the compressor don't work or the compressor's out of air, there's a tank here with 3,000 pounds of air in it. Redundant, emergency to blow the tanks, emergency to breathe if you have to. Okay? And if you wanted to go all the way forward, you would see the 3 ports with the forward-looking camera in the middle, and I have 2 lights in the port and starboard port.
Okay. I did see the lights. It's crazy. This is engineering genius, Sam. You can tell you put a lot of heart and soul into it.
Do would be I turn these 2 things on. Is this voice recording too?
Yep.
So what these do is they parallel those batteries. The engine has a separate redundant starting battery of its own, just in case these batteries got tired.
Okay.
And you surface, you got a fresh battery to start the diesel engine with. Once that diesel engine's started, the compressor's running, you're blowing all the water out of the tanks to gain as much freeboard as you can. This actually actuates that. And these are we also have a full set of diesel controls down here for operating the diesel engine in rough water. So in rough water, you can't stand up there with the hatch open. The hatch needs to be sealed. The periscope has to be up. The snorkel has to be up so you don't suck any water down. Then it's safe to operate if you're offshore in sloppy water. And you operate that with these controls right here. And of course, this is the starting. This is everything to start the diesel. And you got pictures of these, all the indicators.
Yep.
And over here, okay, so this is the running lights. Here's a little something that I made. You'll like this. So, again, I'm not a technological guy.
Okay.
So, what makes the lights for a submarine is distinct. It's three seconds on, 3 seconds off. Flash, 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 blank, blank, blank. We talked about all these little resistors and stuff before. I had no idea how to do that electronically.
Okay.
But look at this little mechanical mechanism that I made that's doing that.
Oh, it has the contact so that it times around.
Look.
And then the blink of the light. That's crazy. That's so smart. It's not dumb if it works,
I
right?
can't work a cell phone, but I know how to make things happen. And if that breaks, I can fix it. So that's important.
Yeah.
It's important as far as, and 99 out of 100 people up there aren't going to even know that means it's a submarine, but they're going to see that flashing light, which is necessary.
Right.
I had a bunch of divers from Massachusetts called, but they wanted to go 500. They wanted to go 500 feet deep, and I'm like, listen, I think this is pretty strong, and it might go, but I can't guarantee that. But make a long story short, after that call, I got in the sub and I looked around and I said, what is the weakest part of the submarine? And it certainly isn't the hull or these frames. I determined that it was those maybe around here. So I made and welded these plates, and I fortified everything that held the con on. And I didn't think it was necessary, but as a safety feature, you'd really have to hit something pretty hard for just a crack and leak or something here. This is all bonded and screwed and really put together strong, but I put these additional plates on because this is the only place where something could come apart, so it's backed up. And these, of course, this is all, you're standing, this is all a pile of ballast. With all my work, one of the biggest challenges really was to get this to sink. It took me a year to collect and pay for this ballast and get this boat to sink.
And the ballast is what the tanks fill with water. Like they're empty tanks that fill with water.
Well, this is the solid ballast. The ballast is always here. But what you're sitting on and a hump back there that the motor's on, those are ballast tanks that fill with water.
Okay.
Okay? So to submerge these tanks, and when you open the valves, this submerges within 5 minutes. It takes 5 minutes to fill these tanks and go down. It takes a bit longer to blow the air out to surface. You don't have to add much air to make the difference between neutral and positive buoyancy to get you to the surface. But to get it this far above the water, you got to blow all the water out. That could take 12 to 15 minutes. Okay. That takes some time.
And you can't open the hatch until that.
No, you can.
Okay.
You can, and immediately once you're up, once that double check valve I mentioned is close to out of the water, you can start the diesel. Once the diesel started,
then it's different.
Then you just, well, you would want to take your time and start the diesel engine and pump the water out with the compressor, then blow all your reserve air out.
Okay.
Okay, you could just use your reserve bottle and blow the air out, but then you got no reserve air left. This
Right.
is for emergency air, for a blow, and for breathing.
Right.
You know, if there's electrical fire, if the air becomes toxic down here from electrical fire, that's a consideration.
Right.
I'm not a deep diver. I am a certified diver, but really I would only use this boat in 50 to 75 feet of water. But there's no doubt in my mind that if there was a catastrophic problem, that I would not panic. I would flood this boat and I would open a hatch and I would fly, swim to the surface and,
Just go.
Well, every submariner, you have to know that. You have to be prepared to do that if you want to be a submariner,
And you said off camera, how far will it go?
It's designed to go, I believe, and anybody that ever looked at this, other divers, 150 feet.
And how
We've
far?
come to that depth based on the robust construction, based on the fact that a diver could go down with a face mask and without a submarine around him and go 150 feet. Last week we just had a free diver with absolutely nothing on but a bathing suit go over 700 feet. So I really feel this could go 150 feet. Have I been 150 feet? No. But I'd go to 50. I'd fly around 100. 50, 75 feet, half that, all day long. No problem.
And how far of a trip will this take?
Well, as I said, there's enough fuel. You could definitely probably go 35, 40 miles in one direction to a dive site and come back on diesel power. It's only, it's only 6 or 7 knots on the surface. If you try to push it, you're going to use more fuel and maybe not make that distance. But the sweet speed is about 6.5 knots.
All right.
At not even 1,800 RPMs. And that's not a lot of fuel consumption. The motor is great. The motor, that's a Beta Marine VOC compliant 85 horsepower diesel engine. It right now has 51 hours on it. It's just broken in. I've never had a problem with the exhaust flooding. As I say, the startup and shutdown sequence is important. And once you do that, it's not a problem. Right now, look, you're sitting in here. The water line's here. We're pretty much, you see that motor is always underwater. The bilge, in general, there's never been any water in the boat. There's, on the port side back there's a humidifier that's always on. So in the, there's never any mold, there's no oxidation. It's staying nice in here with the humidifier. And in winter, there's not that much humidity in the winter, so it goes on and off, and it generates some heat. But I do have an engine heater plugged in here, and I do winterize it, all systems, and I have a heater and a humidifier on all the time. All the steel that's in here has all been prepped and painted with 2 coats of Rust-Oleum, and it's not rusting. But most everything else, all the other mechanisms, everything I made is all stainless steel. All the fittings, the through hull fittings, everything to do with the ballast tanks, periscope, even the controls. These are knife switches, old-fashioned knife switches made with angle iron and stainless steel. I don't know if you got all mahogany construction on the bottom, all teak topside. It's old school construction, just like the many Chris Crafts I restored. It's a double plank mahogany bottom.
This is beautiful.
And it's has a twin. It has 2 4-cylinder Cummins diesels in it, and a diesel generator. And this is the boat we went to Florida, to Isla Mirada and back. I spent 5 months living on. And again, thankful to my drafting experience. I just took time and drew this to a 1-inch scale, and designed it in the space that I had to build it. I built the biggest boat in the space that was available to me, and I built it not far from here.
It just
And,
keeps going.
actually, the design is designed after, before I was married, me and my wife shared a little apartment, and this is the same format. You went from the living room, and you went into the kitchen or the galley, then you went into the bedroom, and the bathroom was all the way forward, so I made this boat the same way. I have a big galley because we cook a lot in the summer. Here on the refrigerator is important. That's a sticker from every place I've been with this boat.
That's amazing. It's so big
And
in
of
here.
course, I literally built this whole boat with pieces of cardboard and a big pair of scissors. I made patterns, and I would go and I would prefab everything in the shop, and then my father would come on Sunday. We work on it. I made all these doors in the shop, and so this is that's the galley, and it's a big galley because this is the meeting place in the summer. I see my kids mostly in the summer on this boat. This is the stateroom here. This is a bunk here, and this is the head and the shower. Because it's an old-fashioned design with a perfectly plumbed bow. I have all this room. This is the shower.
So big.
Actually, this was a jacuzzi, but the first time we went out, we ran all the water out, just taking, hopping in the jacuzzi. So I disconnected that. And the inside is all mahogany. The floors are all teak.
Mirror
And this is
finish.
all, you can't even get this. This is Honduras mahogany that you can't even get in this country anymore. It's because of the embargo or trade embargo or something. So you could get African mahogany and other kind of mahoganies, but Honduras mahogany is the nicest. That's what my 30-footer is planked out of.
It looks so amazing.
I don't know if you need light, but this is a. Want me to turn the light on?
No.
That's the engine room. Although we have the stateroom down there, actually, me and my wife sleep up here. This opens up and we sleep up here because it's bright and airy. We very rarely sleep down below. But this boat, like I said, I could live on this boat the rest of my life. It's got everything.
It's amazing.
It has controls. There's a bridge above. Has controls above. And you have the dinghy. This is my super antique bamboo sport fishing pole collection. You won't see this anywhere else.
This is amazing that you built this all by hand.
Oh, well, turn the. I don't know how much time you want to kill, but sometimes I go out there and people are like, so I built this. I had to take my garage apart to get it. So this really, I do have detailed. These are the fuel tanks going in.
There's you and your wife, right?
Yeah, and this was my father.
Okay. That's amazing.
Okay, this is the day we put the fuel tanks in. My father was the photographer on this.
Okay.
There's the interior, everything going along. I'll just flip through it quickly. The galley when it was new. So this is the important. So this is me, my father, and my son. So as I said, I built the biggest boat I could build in this garage. And then we had a crane come and I took the front walls. I sawed the front walls off the garage and took the front of the roof. Yeah. It was a big day. One of the biggest days of my life. And we winched the boat out. I had it on a sled. And I put waxed up ways over the stones. And we winched the boat out. And this was all pre-made. I had the crane assemble it. So on that day, we took the garage apart, winched the boat out, put the windshield on, lowered the top. Oh, before we lowered the top, we put the generator in, which is right under there.
Right.
So that was a big day. And then I had I think I had worked on it 3 months till it was ready to go into the water. And we had a crane come, and not a crane, a professional boat hauler come and put it in the water. This was a first touchdown in the water there. That's my father checking it out.
That's amazing.
And because I'm old school, this was one of my favorite feature of this boat, you ask? My anchors. My Popeye.
Yeah, the
Anchors.
double, the duals.
Yeah, the old-fashioned anchors. And these were some of our maiden voyages. This was before I had the bridge on.
Okay.
And that's it. The rest of these are...
That's amazing. It's like stepping back in time photos.
Well... But we go out... My
I'm good.
wife had medical issues after, so we didn't take any long trips. But we would go out, go around, go by up the end of the river that's parallel with this road here. Yeah, go out, drink some beer, play some cards, come back.
Perfect. Want to get a shot of the front?
Yeah, so and something I always wanted to do, which is a feature, see the anchors up there. So I added what's called a bulbous bow to it for my Florida trip.
Okay.
And that gives the boat a little a finer entry, but mostly reduces the vertical lift. When you power up, a boat wants to go up like that, and that's inefficient. You want to keep the boat so that actually made the top speed of the boat increase 1 knot.
Okay.
Which is only good, but all boats have them, tankers and everything. It's only pays off on a long trip.
Okay.
I forget how many bridges my wife was on it. There's over 100 bridges, going to Florida. And this is a slow boat.
Right.
But I was able to juice it up and keep, and be the last one through the bridge before it closed on me because of that.
I bet it helped with fuel mileage too.
I knocked myself out to find all kinds of anything hardware that made it look old.
I mean, they're so cool.
It's designed to look like an old boat. Well, the main reason I wanted to bring your camera, I wanted to show you this. So when somebody says, well, how the hell do you build your own boat? How do you design a boat from scratch? Oh, it's a little dusty. So I started with a hunk of sugar pine, and I just kept shaving until I had the bullet shape that I wanted. See that?
That's amazing.
So this is like, I think this is 20th
to scale?
20. Well, I in both cases, I design these boats, and I add, when you're building a boat, you could always carry the lines aft and keep making it longer, and I did that with both boats. So this started at 28 feet, but ended up at 30. So I kept planing and shaving till I got this bullet shape, which I wanted a unique shape. And then from there, I took calipers, and because I'm a good old school draftsman, I laid it out on a grid, then I lofted it full size, and that's how I made that one design boat from scratch with this here.
All in this workshop.
No, this, I built the sub here.
Okay.
No, that was in another workhouse. Torpedo.
That's so cool.
This is beautiful.
Oh, these are pictures from the day we launched the boat. That was the original. I can give you these pictures if you want.
No, I wouldn't want to take
All
the
right.
pictures.
Well, this was the original camouflage I had on it. So
It's a big crane.
yes, that's a top view of it. So I built that boat right here. And it took me a week, and I wore my ass out. It took me a week. I did all the rigging. And at that point, it only weighed like 12 tons. I winched it out and got it to the back, right to this corner where I finished it off, and the crane picked it up. I'm going to give you one picture because I'm going to attach this to it. Okay?
Okay.
Amazing. It's crazy.
So, look. A picture of when we went to the Galapagos Islands. And here's where we took our boat to China. And here's where we took our speedboat out to Hawaii. You see that? Oh, and then we took the 43-footer out to China. Okay?
Moby Dick.
There you go. Yeah.